Happened to the Las Vegas Raiders this weekend was an absolute joke. Playing a team without their starting quarterback and losing by 17, allowing 40 points is ridiculous, and these were not the expectations when Pete Carroll entered Las Vegas. I hate to say this, but you could see this Raiders disaster coming from a mile away, and really you could see exactly how it was going to break down. I think it started when they hired Spytek, and that's cool. But then they hired Pete Carroll, who, he's an older coach. And when you hire Pete Carroll, like, you're in kind of a win now mode nowadays. Pete, when he came first in Seattle, he was at USC, so he had that advantage of just coming from college, being youthful. The youthful exuberance guy. You know what I mean? But that was about 15 years ago now. Like, Pete was the oldest coach in the NFL, I believe, other than Bill Belichick, last time when he was coaching Seattle. And Seattle looks like, we couldn't quite see it last year, but they definitely look like they've improved from that era over these last couple of years. Now, did he set the structure of that? Yes, but right now Seattle looks like they're in a much better place than they were toward the end of Pete's run, the way that they've kind of started off this season. The biggest thing, too, was the Raiders. I think Pete underestimated just what he was entering. The Raiders just didn't have the talent for the kind of quick rebuild that they wanted to happen. And I think that the problem is they kind of ruined some of their resources with that rebuild. They gave Geno Smith a 3-year contract. He's out there, and he just does so much dumb stuff. And I don't think it's all his fault. But when you pay someone, that kind of money, like, you at least just want them to be stable. Geno, maybe that's not what they wanted, because Geno's not going to be stable. He did throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks this game. But he was just taking really bad sacks and bad situations. He's always throwing the ball in coverage. We've seen him earlier this year toss a couple of picks away. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to try to take those chances, and right now, it's just going to be hard for that to work because he doesn't have JSN and DK Metcalf. He's got Jacoby Myers. So I think they tried to add stability to the quarterback position. That's cool, but you wonder how quickly they can get out from the Geno Smith contract, because I don't think he's going to be there long term. Where they really messed this up to me for this year and maybe even the future was taking Jeanty with the 6th overall pick in the draft, specifically because their defense was ranked bottom 4 in the league last year, and their offensive line was just really, really bad, and they could not run the football. And so we know this game is won in the trenches. You see with the Browns, like, they don't even have a quarterback who can throw the ball, but they're winning game purely on running the ball straight down they won a game against the Packers, but they have as many wins as the Raiders, and they won that game running the ball strictly down the middle and playing defense. The Raiders can't do either one of those things because Jeanty, when he tries to run, there's nowhere to go. He had a couple good runs, though. One where he ran somebody over down the middle of the field, another where he stiff-armed. But the problem is, and I kind of knew this in the offseason, but he's a running back. What that for him to be most effective, like, the score kind of has to be close. The Raiders are, these scores are just this one specifically just got away from him. A couple weeks against the Chargers, they tried to run him. He couldn't go anywhere. He also needs an O-line, someone to block. That pick would be the perfect spot. Obviously, everyone wants to trade back, but just take a lineman. Just build the interior, build the trenches. This should be a slower build. There's a lot of things to replace. You really have two true blue chip players that we know of right now on this team. In my opinion, one of them isn't looking that great this year, but Max Crosby is one, and Brock Bowers. And Bowers right now, because there's no line and because Geno's looking for other guys, he hasn't looked great. There's a play where he's running one-on-one down the seam with a linebacker, and I thought he kind of should have made the play and called a touchdown. And if he, for my expectations for Brock Bowers and how great of a player he is, this is rough right now. Like, they could not stop the run from a team that they had to know, and the Commanders, without their starting quarterback. Again, playing a team without their starting quarterback, they had to know they were going to run the ball all the time. That's what Mariota does. They just ran the Oregon offense. And if you don't know that, that's bad D coordinating. And if you can't stop it, that's bad personnel. I think at this point, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It just looks all the way around just not very good. They beat the Patriots week 1. That was cool. But it looks very messy the further we go, and I didn't want to make too much about it. I think in the preseason, though, didn't they get smoked? It might have been to the Patriots or something. But no, they got, I forget who they lost to, but maybe that was the Patriots. They lost someone really bad in preseason, and Carroll had that oh my gosh face. There's no real fixable points to this. There's no coaching thing. They can't block. They can't block. Geno's starting to get smoked. They don't have speed receivers, and they don't have a defense. So if the plan was come in here, bring Geno in for some stability, then that's fine. But I really think they messed up not going D-line, O-line, not really fixing other problems. Any really other position to me than Jeanty would have made sense. Like running back to me is like one of the last things you get with the team. When Saquon, he came after everything else. O-line, wide receiver, defense. Came, I guess, with the cornerbacks, D-line, linebackers, quarterback. He came at the end of all that, and we saw what happened when they tried to build around him in New York. It didn't quite work. Even with him and Daniel Jones, doesn't matter. You have no O-line. He's just getting smoked. Now, I don't think this is quite as bad as the Giants' offensive line so far, but it's not great. We see that they clearly can't run the ball, and their defensive line might be even worse. Like, they just get no push. They don't really stop anyone. They've only stopped the Patriots so far this season. It's unfortunate. It's not good. And the problem is when you've Pete Carroll, he's the oldest coach in the league. He's not trying to wait for a rebuild. There's no quick fix to this. They don't have the talent. They don't have any horses on this team. Like, we can be all, you got coach better. They don't have talent on the team. You got to have guys who can block. You got to have guys who can get through blocks. They don't have any of that right now, and the quarterback he's not making the best decisions. But I blamed them in the Chargers game. He fucked that one up. But I see why this game. I gotta force it. I gotta score. We can't do shit. So we'll see what happens, man. But I think this is kind of the beginning of a little bit of a downhill slide for Las Vegas. They do play the Bears at home. Now, if you want to turn around, this is the game, right? Caleb looked good against one defense, Cowboys. So you definitely got to think if your defense has any pulse, hopefully they can kind of step up, get Caleb a little flustered. That Bears defense isn't great, so they should be able to get the ball moving, score some points. But I think it's got to be this week if there's any hope for them to do anything this season. And I don't even know what anything would be. I think they think a successful season might be a playoff berth. I think it's more like 7 wins, and I think that's pushing it. I think we're heading to 6 right now, especially if they don't win this game, just because of the pure talent on the field and the way that Geno and Jeanty are getting smacked around. I don't know how much longer they can survive like this. They have no protection. It's not looking great in Las Vegas right now.